What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of the Mommyana podcast with Elia. Today, I am gladly joined with a very beautiful guest. We have Miyleen here.
Hey y'all.
What's up, girl? So, I've been knowing Miyleen for quite some time. We went to a summer camp in middle school together called Summer Bridge, and it was a super dope camp, actually. Very different, I feel like, than your typical camps. But I didn't really talk much there. I feel like I was very always pretty quiet, shy. We didn't really interact with
Mhm.
each other a lot, but I always thought you were really pretty and you dressed well. So I'm happy to have like this little full circle moment. And then
Thank
like a couple
you.
of years ago, I met your sister Sabrina at a barbecue. We had a mutual friend and she was super cool. Like I loved her vibe. She was super goofy, silly, just
Super.
I loved her vibe. Now, yes. And I was like, I bet Miyleen is the same, like, or probably very similar. Y'all definitely look like twins, but
Everybody thinks we're
yeah,
twins.
yes, you guys look very much alike. That's cool. But I will let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, hey girl, thank you for having me on here. My name is Mylene. I am new to this Mommyana uh, format platform. And I just want to say, I had always thought that you was beautiful too, but I was like, she's so quiet. Don't never talk
Um,
sweet. But
yes.
I am no longer in Denver. I've been out of Denver a long time. I now reside in Dallas. I've been in Dallas going on, I want to say 11 years. So this is
Oh
home
wow.
now. Me and my babies.
Yeah.
So this is where we're at. Yeah.
Do you love it out there?
I do. The only thing I don't like is the heat, the traffic, and the way that they drive. But other than that, I absolutely love it. Like, there's so many opportunities for growth. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. It's huge. So I do a lot of staycations. I've taken my kids somewhere where we can go an hour, 2 hours away, come back, or So I personally love it.
Wow, that's dope. Change of scenery. I would love to leave Colorado, but I'm like, probably too late now. I have a kid. Like my support system is here. Like it would be. It's not impossible, but it would be
That's
challenging.
the only thing I don't have. And I've tried to come back because of the support, but I don't. It's like guys like no, stay still. Like I got you, so I'm
Yeah,
here still.
I feel that. Man. All right. Well, so today's episode, we're going to be talking about being a single mom to multiples. I'm also a single mom, but I have one child, so I definitely commend all the moms out there who are holding it down with multiples. I imagine it's hard work on a daily basis, but y'all get the
Mm,
work done, you know? So kudos to y'all. So, with
thank
that
you.
being said, my first question to you is can you kind of share with us your journey into motherhood? Like, how was it for you discovering you were pregnant for the first time? Were most of your pregnancies planned? Or, yeah, we could talk more about
Planned? No. um, I come from a big family, but I was the middle child, so um, I we're family oriented, but I don't feel like I had got the love that I needed. So I kind of looked for love in all the wrong places. So I first got pregnant at 18. Definitely was not expecting it. I was still in high school. So when I walked across the stage, I was 3 months pregnant with my first. Did not expect her dad to not be in the picture. So that led to something else. So since he wasn't in the picture, I'm like, oh my God, like I just want my own family because I wasn't at home. I had ended up moving to New Orleans with my auntie and ended up getting kicked out because I got pregnant. So I ended up just looking and wanting and this man and a family. And so I jumped into another relationship with someone who I really didn't want and ended up pregnant again. And then I ended up married at a young age. And the only one that we did plan was that third one. Shouldn't have because we weren't in the place or position to have a baby. But I was young. I was a Christian wife, mom, and so they're like, you got to be fruitful, and multiply. So then we had another one, and he ended up leaving us like when my baby was 2 weeks old, right after I had him. So that was that. And but no, it's like, oh dang, she must just like having kids, and it's not that, but it they're a blessing, but they happen, they came, and they're here, and I'm just learning to be like, whew. kind of breathe with them and just they're on this journey with me. And then it's helped me. So I'm trying to just walk in my purpose and seeing why I may have gotten blessed with so many because there's some out here who can't have them. And so I know that they're a blessing, but I'm like, all right, God, you done put five on me. Where are we going?
No, I love your like spirit around it though. Like you seem very positive and like not like, whoa, it's me. Like like that is great to hear.
Yeah, I've had my moments, but I'm learning, to because I mean it's the choices that I've made too.
Mhm. Yeah. So how old is your oldest, and then how old is the youngest?
The oldest is 13. So it's
Oh,
13, 11, 9, 7, and I started over. I have a 9-month old.
oh, little baby.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. So are you with the baby's dad right now?
No. That's a whole nother situation too. That's gonna be it needs probably a whole show for itself. But I'm not. Um, all of my kids do not have the same dad. Which is something I used to be ashamed of. I used to be ashamed to say that because it doesn't feel good. I never thought that I would be someone who had multiple father figures for I can't even say father figures, but fathers for my kids. Um, but now I've grown to just accept my truth and live in it, and it's set me free. Like it used to be this burden that I would carry on me, and once I was able to like just live my truth, girl, I'd be like, and do, but I take care of mine. Like it's nothing I would tell another woman to go ahead and do, but it's me. It's me. So my oldest has her own dad. He's really not in the picture. He's in and out. My second one, my second oldest boy, his dad came around when he was 5. So he constantly, he gets him every other weekend and things of that nature. And then I have two in the middle. We're by my ex-husband, and I don't know what that is. He's there, he's not there, he's consistent, he's not consistent, and so I I don't know what to say right there. But then my youngest son has a different dad as well, and it's kind of the same situation. So where he's present, then he's not present, then he's around, he's not around. So
Yeah, I'm sure that that has to be tough. It kind of reminds me
it
of my
is.
dad too. He kind of played that role in my life, there and
Mhm.
then kind of not there. Like, yeah, that office issues I feel like later on in life. So, but kudos to you for being a present mom. Your
Thank
kids will always
you.
love you and respect you for that. That's what's up. And I also like how you're very open. I feel like on your social media about like your mothering journey, and like I've seen a couple of your posts and stuff, and I'm like, that's amazing. I know there's a lot of other women who can relate to you too, so I'm sure that they are like inspired by you too. So keep doing
Thank you. I think that's it.
that.
Like I said, I haven't always been that way because it is. I get it all the time, especially when I'm out in public. Like, oh, when they ask me if they're my kids, I'm like, yeah. Do they all have the same dad? I'm like, no. I used to lie, like, yeah, they all have the same dad. I'm married and da da da. And then it was just like I went through my own healing process because I was in this cycle. And once I went through my healing process, I was like, you know what? I started to share a little bit, and then I was getting messages like, "Oh my God, I'm going through the same thing," or "My sister, can you help her? Can you walk her through this?" And then I was like, "Oh, like I think it helped me more to help others." And so little by little, I'm still like, I don't know if I want to share that part. We want to share this part, but then it's uh, a community for especially moms because we get looked at a certain way, and especially single moms are. I think women just in general, when we have kids and they're by multiples, it's just always this agenda against us. I feel so now. I've been like, it's this, is that, and the third, but I know who I am. I bring value still. I take care of mine. I have mine. So I started to share more.
Yeah, that's all that matters. It does suck though because I feel like men who have kids by multiple women, they're definitely
Oh,
viewed
it's
differently.
nothing. Yeah,
But it's the same thing.
er, exactly.
So that's it. But okay, so my next question is, what has been like your greatest challenge being a single mom to
Ooh, how long do we have?
multiples? As long as you need, girl.
um, So I'll hit a few points. Like I said, with their dads not being really involved or in the picture, that's one thing. Because I'm in a city where I have no family, so I have no support system whatsoever. So it's always me when it comes to taking them to school, picking them up, activities, doctor's appointments, anything like that. I'm the one that has to go. If there's a disciplinary that needs to happen at the school or I have to take off, I can't call and say, "Hey, Auntie, can you go get?" Or "Hey, Dad, like they're tripping," or "Can you go up here?" Because my boys, I feel like they have acted out because of not having that father figure in the picture. And I'm a disciplinary, but I'm a woman. I know I can't just raise a man. I can teach him how to have the man qualities, but a man, he needs somebody to look up to. He needs somebody to measure himself up to. I'm a woman. He can't do that. So my boys, my oldest is now 11 and the youngest is 7. They have acted out, and I feel like it's because of that. So it's been a challenge for me because I'm just like, oh, I'm here, I'm there, or I can't put them in activities, or I have to have a certain career because it has to be between a certain time of them being in school. When they get out of school, I have to pick them up. I have to make sure that they get here. It's difficult. It's difficult, but I've learned to kind of adjust. Um, I think that's probably like just the best thing to do is kind of adjust and live with my reality and whatever comes to me, not to stress about it. And whatever comes my way, I'm like, all right, I gotta do this. Now this has changed. We gotta work on this. So overall, there's so many different challenges amongst it, but it's just how you handle it.
That's good. So you said you don't have a support system. Do you have like any friends that kind of help you out a little bit?
So I don't have a support system from a distance. My family is a support. They weren't always that way. Like I said, I had my youngest at 18. And growing up, I don't know, for whatever reason, my family may not look at it the same way, but for me, it was like, oh, she was fast, she was this, she was that, and I wasn't. So when I ended up having a baby at 18, it was like, oh, we told you, like, you was out here doing this and this and this. So then when I had another one, it was like, yo, you got kids by men that's not even in the picture and it was by different men. And so I didn't have the support. That's why I kind of left home. So now I'm in a different city and they help from a distance, but not having it physically here is a challenge. But I had what I call my angels that God have sent me. And it may have been a neighbor, a stranger that I had met, and they end up just like kind of coming in and just being there for me at the time. Whether it be, I've had like one of my neighbors, she was able to keep my son for me instead of me putting him in daycare, so I was able to work. Um, or they may come and they, provide something. It's been different in every stage of my life, but I call them my little angels because they're here and then we don't have a relationship anymore. But during that time frame, they were exactly what I needed at that time. So it's like God has always just been there for me along the way.
That is definitely a blessing, especially having your family so far away. Do your like parents come and visit you pretty often to kind of
My
help
mama
out?
does now. Yeah, we didn't have the best relationship growing up. My dad said because we were like the same, so we bumped heads. But my mama, she comes at least once a year. My dad has came a few times. My siblings, they come out more. Like I said, just in the past few years, we've actually kind of they see who I am as a woman and as a mama. Like, oh, Caitlin, like you for real are you're this, and so I've given my accolades more than like, oh, you know more than the negative. I get more positive than negative.
That's good. That's good. How many siblings do you have? It's a lot of y'all, ain't it?
Oh, yes. There's not. We lost one a few years ago.
All right.
So yeah, but he's still dear to my heart. So yeah, there's 9 of us, and
Oh,
I'm the only one who had left home at a
okay.
young age. I left when I was 14. I was the middle, and then now, like my oldest is in Cali. One of my younger sisters, she lives in Florida, and then one of my brothers, he stays, I think it's in Iowa. But everybody else is still pretty much in Denver. So they
Nice. Are
they
you guys like
um
pretty close?
they are really close. I'm not as close with them as I would like. Um but we talk every day and stuff like that. But I think because since I left home at such a young age, or because I don't know if it's because I was a middle child, I've heard really different stories and scenarios, and I don't remember a lot because when I went through uh, therapy is what you call childhood trauma. So I don't remember a lot of my childhood. And as I go through certain situations, that's why I kind of shared my stories because then it opens up, like it's like the brain protects you, and then you start talking about stuff, and it starts reminding you, like, oh, okay, this is that, this is that. So I don't have the relationship that I would love to have with them, which kind of sucks, and I think that's why I, went with these different men and trying to create my own family for that sense.
Well, that's dope. You do have a relationship with him though, and you guys talk every day because
Yeah.
my dad has 6 children, and
Mhm.
we're not like close like that at all. So for the most part,
Really?
me and my brother Evan, because we have the same mom and dad, and then I have my oldest brother Derek. We're pretty close with each other, but the other ones
Okay.
we just didn't grow up together, and everybody there's like pretty significant age gaps too. So it's just kind of
That's
what
one
it
thing
is.
I commend my dad on. He kept us all together. He did. Even though we all don't have the same moms either, but he made sure one thing, he kept us together.
He was a real one
Yeah.
for that because that takes a lot. Okay. So my next question is, what has dating been like for you as a mom with multiple?
Oh Lord. After this last one, I haven't been wanting to date, and it's so crazy because with him being 9 months, girl, I'd be like, if a man tries to talk to me, I'm like, oh, I got 5 kids and a newborn, and they don't care. They still be trying,
Really?
but before, I was like, I was dating. Now I think I'm just in the point where I know I need to heal so I can get out of this cycle. Because I can admit I've been in this cycle. Just kind of piggybacking off of what I said when growing up and my traumas and my insecurities. The men that I had my kids with, I didn't want them. I didn't like them. I wasn't in love with them. But growing up, I always heard like, "Oh, you ain't gonna be this and you ain't gonna be that." And once I had kids, "Oh, ain't no man gonna want you." And even society, not even just family, but I didn't care about society. It hit more home with family. So I settled with all the men that I had my kids with. Neither, and I let them know. Like if I come on here, they'll tell you like, "Oh yeah, she told me she didn't love me or she didn't want me, she didn't want to be with me." But that's what it was. And then I got these men who would love me and would care for me and probably, take me in, and I was just like, "Oh, no, I got too much going on for them. Like, I can't be with this type of man." So now I've taken the time out to just kinda step out of that because I know I'm a wife and I wanna get married again, but I just wanna do it the right way. So my when I look at a man now, or if a man even approaches me or pursues me, he has to know who he is. And he has to have that relationship with God. And I think if he has that relationship with God, then everything else falls into place when it comes into being a protector, a provider, protector emotionally, physically, spiritually over me, my kids. You have to be able to accept me as a package. I don't let the men that I date meet my kids yet because I don't want to bring all these different men in the picture. But um, I kind of just taking a pause on dating and just getting to know me all over again so that I can be everything that I can be to myself, to my family, to who's potentially going to be my husband, and not just continuing these cycles because I have kids and I don't want my girls to think like, oh, to get out here and once they get older, continue the same thing or just to take on this habit that I have taken on, which I'm not proud of. So
Yeah, I think having like that solitude is important. Just
yeah,
having a moment to yourself so you can heal and you can just enjoy.
yes.
I think it's important to appreciate being by yourself and having your own
Oh
peace. And then
man,
when
ain't
you're
nothing
at
like
that,
it.
yes, peace is very important. It's something that can't be bought either. So, like, just finding that inner peace, and then I feel like you start attracting a different type of man too once you gain that level of peace, and you've just gained the level of wisdom and discernment. Like,
Right.
all those things come and you just start attracting like a completely different energy too. So
Right.
that's good.
Yeah. And so that's why I said, like, it's not that I've never gotten those type of men, but I wasn't ready. Like I can say, oh, I want this man, and when he comes, it's like they say, when the guy opens up the door or he knocks and you're not ready. A few times it was like that, and I was like, oh no, 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 no. So now I'm like, oh no, like okay, this is it. I'm not about to do
Right.
this no more. So now I want to step out there when I'm ready. Like right now, I'm cleaning up house, I'm preparing, then I'll be able to step out there and I don't want to attract the same. I feel like I was dating the same spirit and just different body. And so now I'm like, I refuse to continue that cycle.
Oh, I feel that. That's good that you realize for real, because that's when change I feel like can occur. So that's
Yes.
what's up. So I know I watched one of your videos on Instagram, I think it was, or maybe it was TikTok, and you were saying like how one guy you dated told you like off rip, no one's gonna want to be with you because you have all these kids, and then by the you guys ended up getting together, and by the end he was ready to propose to you. Like that's crazy.
Girl.
Could you talk more about that? Like why didn't you guys end up getting married?
Again, it was not a person that I wanted to be with, right? So, and when I went through my healing, because I was like, why did I stay with this person? Knowing I really didn't want him, but initially what attracted me to him was his work ethic. I just love to see him in his little um his space. And so we were both divorced about a year and a half. He was married for 14 years. I was only married for almost 5. We were but divorced a year together. So he had reached out and he was like, I want to get back on the dating scene. Da, 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 da. So we had started talking. And I let him know, like I let it be known up front. I have at that time it was 4 kids. I was only 26 and I said I'm divorced, and so he asked the main question, like, are they all by the same man? I'm like, no. He's like, well, what do you bring to the table? And my question and my answer, and it's real simple, but that's just like you would have to just get to know me to know that that's a whole lot. Like they say, women are incubators. Like you bring me groceries, I'm gonna make food. You bring me a house, I'm gonna turn it into a home. Um, and that's what I did with him. We ended up deciding to get together. Um, and he had a business that he wanted to get back started up. I stopped everything that I had, helped him build that business up, helped him between his ex-wife and their kids, and I was kind of that mediator and just was growing. And I would hear it everywhere we go, like people like, she's a blessing to you and you just look happier, you look healthier. His health helped him with his health, got him back right. And so in the midst of that, like the first 3 years, he would say stuff like if I needed my tire changed or fixed, I'm like, babe, I got a hole in my tire, and he'd be like, oh, well, you're not my wife yet. Like, I just don't, yeah, you just don't get that that treatment. And I'm like, well, I cook, I'm cleaning, I'm helping building with you. Like, what do you mean? I'm treating you like a husband. And he just wouldn't do certain stuff like that. And he kept going back like to his ex-wife, or he felt like the optics of it with me, him, and kids didn't look right to him. But when we're at home, oh, he's trying to just, he just saying different things, and he's kind of loving on me. But after all them years, I was just like, now by the time that you're ready to move forward, because you know who I am, and I've added to you and I haven't taken anything from you. He has never helped me with my home. He's never did anything, but I have added all of this to him. And so now he's like, oh, you're an element. Like now it's too late. And so I was like, I'm done. And so that's why we didn't move forward. And he has still tried to come back and um try to work things out, because you get out here and you realize a lot of women are not like us and they want to take from you, and instead of adding something and bringing to you. So it was like he kind of got out there and dated, and he's older, and he's like, dang, like you the one with 4 kids. He was like, you don't have this career, you don't have like certain thing. He was one of those I want to say not judgmental, but he just had these stipulations like, oh, you need this, you need that, you have to have this, you have to have that. And the women that had that, it didn't work with them because they weren't the woman he had wanted or need. They were always like, "What can you give me? What can you give me? What Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not cooking. I'm not cleaning. But then, you have this one, and I had my own kids. I had my own house. I did all that, and I never once had my hand out to him. And so it was one of those things. Once it's gone, you miss it.
Spinning the block.
No.
Feel it.
Mm-mm.
I feel that. Well, stand firm on that, girl. I feel you. So, like, what traits do you feel like moving forward, like you would look for in a guy that you like might potentially want to date?
Definitely, like I said, he has to have the same faith that I have. Um, I've kind of grown into, I don't want to say Christian because I feel like it's a box when you say Christian or put a certain religion on it. But to know Christ and to have God as the center and just the main, for me is a main priority just from up jump. So if he hasn't done that work in himself, then there's nothing that we can do here, because once you do that work in yourself and you know that you allow God to lead you, then you can lead me and I can go ahead and follow, because it's an order. So that's the main thing to me, is that he has to have that relationship with God himself, and then I can be able to come along, and because for me, a man has to have a certain vision. And if you have a certain vision and you know where you're going, like I said, I can add to that. But if you don't know what you want or know who you are or know where you're going, then there's nothing that we can do. I'm not asking for you to be a millionaire or anything like that, because baby, you got $5 and I'll multiply that for us. But as long as you know what you want, then okay, we can go ahead and build this, we can make this, we can do whatever it is we need to do. Because sometimes that's all it takes is a partnership, or for that man to have that woman to go ahead and bring life to what he has in his heart, his desires, his dreams, his visions. And you just need that partnership, because I just feel like that's my some of us, that's just my purpose, and a lot of women is not the same. And then when it comes to my kids, I don't let a man meet my kids right off jump, but I know that it's a package deal. So I don't need you to try to be daddy, but I need you to also love and protect them. And when it's protection, that means us mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, just overall, like my emotions. I need you to be emotionally intelligent. I need you to just be mature communication. Because especially, oh Lord, communication. If you don't communicate, it's like, what are we doing? We can't go
Yeah.
nowhere without communication. Um, and like just getting, you have to be able to be adaptable and to learn and to um, just know your person, because even I've talked to people who've been married for 60 years and stuff. They're constantly learning that person, because that person's going to change throughout the time. So I think those main points, just loyalty, their relationship with God, the overall protection, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I think everything else will just line up. So I don't have all this, oh, he needs to make $100,000 a year and he needs to have this big old house and he needs to have, no, like, you don't know what you're missing out on. He needs to be 6 feet and dark skin and chocolate and
Right.
that may not be what yours is wrapped up in. God may be like, I got this over here for you. And then you keep settling for the dude with the six pack, and I mean, I want my man fit still, but
Yeah.
like I don't have all these like
Let me clear
stipulations.
that
Like,
up.
right, hold on, like God, look, wait, hold up,
Don't send me a chubster down.
right, like all people need love, but hold on, look,
No, I feel that. No, that's good that you know what you want, though. I think that's the basis to a strong, healthy relationship, too, knowing what you both parties want what they want. So that's good.
yeah, yeah.
That's important. Do you have any advice for other single moms of multiples out there?
I'll say just take your time. Um, I feel like we constantly are on the go. Just go, 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 busy, busy, busy because we're waking up, we taking care of the kids, we're going to work, we're coming back, we're trying to cook, we're trying to clean, we're trying to, get them in the bath. Breathe, slow down. Um, and then everything else would just line up. And my biggest deal is just keeping God in the mix. Every time that I've kind of taken into my own hands, it was chaos. The moment that I just allowed God to just do what He do, and then stop trying to put it in my own, trying to fix it myself, it never worked out. So just keeping God in the mix, being patient, which is hard. I think with multiples, I've learned that I have to give them their individual time as well. And so sometimes I pick out a weekend out of the month. It's either my oldest, or I say, oh, great, it's gonna be the girls. We're going on a date. Our boys, we're going on the date. Or each individual one because I feel like growing up, I missed that. Even though I grew up with my family, my dad and my mom was in the picture, it was too many of us. So I needed a certain type of attention and didn't get it. And didn't know that's what I needed. So now with my kids, especially with me not having family out here, so if you have multiple kids and really not a support system, give them that individual time. And then also take time out for yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup. So sometimes like this right here, I'm in front of my house. I ain't got no sitter or nothing, but I come right here and I sit in this car. Hey, y'all stay right there. I'm gonna be back. Like, leave me alone. Let me just sit right here. I'll probably listen to my music sometimes just to eat so they're not in my face. But just and learn to adapt. Because it's always gonna be something changing. So I can say put a schedule in and something may pop up. Your baby may get sick or you're gonna be running late because the kids are fighting or something like that. So learn to adapt to your schedule. Yes, put it in your calendar. Try as best as to schedule out what you have forward, which also helps. And I teach my kids like if they have events now because they're getting older, put this in your phone, put this in your calendar. We have a calendar in the house so that they're also responsible. Like, hey, remind me or don't be at the last minute, mommy, I need this for my project. So yes, schedule out, but also be adaptable to that because if you sit there and be like, oh, I need to be here at 8:30 and I'm gonna be here and then on the 5th we're gonna go over here. And then when it gets all crazy, you stressing out, oh my God, you yelling at the kids, you fussing, we need to go. But when I be like, y'all, come on, like, all right, it's kind of running late. Let me just still, so, be in peace because I've seen moments like that personally where rushing and then almost have a car accident or something or fussing at them and yelling at them and it's not even their fault. So the more that I've kind of just take it in and take life for what it is and take the moments as they are, I'm more at peace. I'm not really just always just uptight than my kids. They're not uptight and there's more of like a peace in the home and more laughter and things like that. So just just slow down. Just take time is the biggest thing for me and personally. I think just having multiples and not being so hard on yourself. Um, that's it.
That's great advice. Thanks so much for sharing, girl. It's been a good
Yeah,
conversation. I appreciate your vulnerability. Just chopping it up with me. It's been good. So, thank
of
you
course, anytime.
for sure. Well, to all of my followers out there, thanks for tuning in for another episode. I'm always looking for people to guest on here. So if you're interested, slide in my DMs. But you can also find me on IG at Mommyana Podcast, on TikTok, Spotify, podcast. I'm everywhere. And shout out to my brother Derek for the editing on this and the fire beat at the beginning. You guys can follow him and find him at DWeatherly on IG as well. And until next time.
D Weatherly gon' kill it.